The camera on the ridge above Cutbank Creek was placed to count elk. Pay attention to the tent that appears on the same 3 nights of every month and is gone by the 4th morning. The card had been recording for 214 days. Her name is Dana Reyes, 43 years old, wildlife technician for the Forest Service, 9 years at this district and 4 before that at a grasslands unit, 2 states east, with a bachelor's in wildlife biology and a certification in remote sensor deployment she keeps current because nobody else on the crew will. She services 11 cameras across the district. The one above Cutbank Creek is Unit 7, and Unit 7 has one job. Unit 7 was installed to document elk movement through a corridor the district is trying to keep open. A narrow bench of public land between a county road and a wall of private ranch fence, the last unfenced route the herd uses to reach water in the dry months. The camera is a motion-triggered infrared unit strapped to a lodgepole pine at chest height, angled down at a game trail and the flat clearing below it. Its purpose is to prove the corridor is used, so the district can argue against a grazing lease that would close it. It photographs anything warm that moves. It does not care what. She pulls the card the way she has pulled 40 cards before it. She unclips the housing, swaps in a fresh card, reseats the battery, logs the serial and the date in the field notebook, drives the 90 minutes back to the office with the card in the cup holder. At her desk, she inserts it into the laptop, opens the review software, sorts by timestamp, and begins to scroll. It is a worn routine. She has a coffee. She has the whole afternoon. The card holds 4,911 images. For the first several hundred, she sees exactly what a corridor camera should show. Elk, mostly. A cow and 2 calves at dawn on the 2nd day. Then a bull 9 frames later. Then the herd strung across the clearing in a gray line at 5:52 in the morning. A black bear ambles through and swats at the housing, throwing 40 frames of blur. Rain triggers a run of empty gray images. A white-tailed doe stands broadside for 6 shots as if posing. On day 12, there is 1 authorized human. A range con in a Forest Service vest walking the fence line at 10:14 in the morning, clipboard in hand, exactly where the work order said he would be. It is all correct. It is all expected. It is the reassurance of a system doing its narrow job. Then, on day 19, at 11 minutes past 3 o'clock in the morning, there is a tent. It is small, low, dark-colored, pitched at the far edge of the clearing where the trail meets the tree line. She does not stop on it. Backcountry campers drift off the marked routes all the time. A permit for the adjacent wilderness would put someone within a mile of here, and people get turned around in the dark. She keeps scrolling. The tent is gone by the frames time-stamped day 22. She keeps going. Day 34, at 8 minutes past 3 o'clock in the morning, the tent is back. Same corner, same low dark shape. Gone again 3 mornings later. She stops scrolling. She sets down the coffee. She goes back to the day 19 frame and moves forward slower, counting. Same corner, same window of nights. She opens a spreadsheet beside the review software and starts logging every appearance by image number and timestamp. And when she finishes the card, the pattern is not a feeling anymore, it is a table. The tent appears 7 times over 214 days. It arrives always in the first 3 nights of the calendar month. It never appears on a Saturday or a Sunday. Every triggered frame of it falls between 3 o'clock and 3:40 in the morning, which means whoever pitches it is moving in the dead middle of the night and breaking it down before the dawn elk come through and wake the camera. The spacing is a clean cadence, roughly once every 30 days, 3 nights, then gone. 7 visits, not one of them random. Most of the frames show only the tent. But on the 5th visit, day 141, at 3:17 in the morning, the motion trigger caught him upright. Image 3388. A man crouched at the tent flap, side lit by the infrared, face turned 3/4 toward the lens because something, an animal, a sound, had pulled his head around. It is not a clean portrait. One eye is in shadow, and the jaw is half cut by the frame edge. But it is a face, and it is usable, and it is the first one. She checks the systems the way she is supposed to. She queries the wilderness permit database for the adjacent unit across all 7 date windows. She checks the district's dispersed camping logs. She checks whether any research or trapping authorization overlaps that clearing. She checks the grazing lease access records in case a contractor had night rights she didn't know about. The clearing sits on Forest Service land that requires no permit for a single night but does require one for any stay, and a repeating monthly occupation is not a single night. When she is done, she writes one line in the incident file: 7 documented occupations, 0 authorizations. She takes it to her district ranger, who takes it to the special agent the Forest Service keeps for law enforcement matters, who does what Dana cannot. Runs image 3388 through the interagency facial recognition system used for wildland cases. The query returns a match at high confidence, and with the match comes a name, and with the name comes a record, and the record explains all 7 nights at once. His name is Marcus Hale, 58. 3 years earlier, he had owned a small feed and hardware store in the county seat, 40 miles south, the kind of store that had been in the same family building since his father ran it. When the highway bypass rerouted traffic and a farm supply chain opened off the new interchange, his revenue fell for 11 straight quarters. He borrowed against the store to keep it open. He borrowed against the house to service the store loan. When his wife's cancer treatment ran through the insurance cap, he borrowed against nothing, because there was nothing left, and he signed a personal guarantee he did not fully read, because the alternative that week was closing during her last good month. She died. The store closed 4 months later. The bank took the building, the second lender took the house, and a debt collection judgment attached to any wages he might earn and any account he might open. The single hard number under all of it is the deficiency judgment entered against him after the foreclosure sale. $214,000 that the law says he owes and that no work he can do at 58 will ever retire. The logistics, once they knew who to ask about, filled in fast. Hale had been living out of a truck registered to a cousin, parked on a rotation of county pull-offs. He came into the town nearest the corridor on the first business day of each month, always the same day, always cash, because a bank account would be levied the moment it held money. He bought at the same discount grocery each visit. The store clerk, shown a photo, remembered him. A narrow, consistent list: dried beans, rice, canned fish, propane canisters, water in gallon jugs, nothing perishable, nothing that suggested a household. 7 visits across 7 months that no one thought twice about because a man buying beans and propane in ranch country is invisible. He timed his 3 nights on the bench to the same first week, so his supply runs and his camping fell in one trip. He pitched after 3 o'clock in the morning and struck before dawn because he had learned, correctly, that the elk came at first light and that where elk are watched, cameras are too. He was not hiding from Dana. He was hiding from a judgment that would follow any address he gave. And this is the part the file does not soften. Marcus Hale did not choose a clearing on public land because he wanted to be a threat to it. He was routed there. A collapsed local economy took his business. A medical bill with a ceiling took his savings. A loan instrument he could not escape took his house. And a legal system that is very good at recording what a man owes and has no procedure at all for a man who cannot pay left him with a truck, a tent, and the one category of ground in America that does not send a bill. Land that belongs to the public, which is to say to no one who could evict him and everyone who might. The camera worked perfectly. The permit system worked perfectly. The recognition query worked perfectly. Every mechanism did its narrow job, and the sum of all of them doing their jobs was to find, at 3:17 in the morning, a widower with nowhere legal to sleep. They did not have to chase him. A man who pitches the same tent in the same corner in the first 3 nights of every month has already told you when he will come back. The agent and a deputy simply drove up the county road on the first of the following month and waited in the tree line before 3 o'clock in the morning. He came at 3:09. He set the pack down when the deputy's light found him. He set the tent poles down beside it. He put his hands where he was asked to put them and said nothing, and there was nothing to subdue because there had never been anything to chase. He was charged with unauthorized occupancy and use of National Forest System land, and because the occupation was repeated and documented, it carried past a simple citation. He was sentenced to 18 months, with a $2,400 resource remediation assessment for the wear on the clearing, a figure that will be added, on paper, to the $214,000 he already cannot pay. The agent asked him, before it was over, why that clearing? Why come back? Why not keep moving? Hale was quiet for a moment. The elk come through at first light, he said. I liked seeing them before I packed up. It felt like the only thing out there that still had somewhere to be. Unit 7 is still on its pine above Cutbank Creek. It still photographs anything warm that moves. On the second morning after they took him, at 5:52, it triggered on the herd crossing the clearing in a gray line and logged the frames and counted the elk, exactly as it was built to do. Every case on this channel starts with something that does not belong in the frame. A tent on 3 nights and gone by the 4th. A shopping list of beans and propane, cash only, once a month. A face turned toward the lens at 3:17 in the morning. A judgment for $214,000 and a clearing that never sent a bill. Pay attention to what the camera keeps.